It's the 13th of July 2026. This is a brand new edition of Newsfirst's Primetime News coming to you live and direct from our Newsfirst studios in Colombo. Bringing you tonight's bulletin for the Newsfirst team. I am Jaima Ratnayaka.
And I'm Naveksha Gunasekara, and here are your headlines for tonight.
The headlines on Newsfirst.
New 21-member alliance emerges outside traditional opposition bloc. Court rejects Cabral objections in Greek bonds case. Shipping through Hormuz slows as US-Iran conflict escalates. Yellow season paddy procurement begins.
On to your top story for tonight. A surprise announcement that sent shockwaves through Sri Lanka's political sphere has sparked intense speculation about the future of the opposition after 21 members of parliament from opposition political parties declared that they would act jointly and act for the people, working as a separate alliance.
Now MP Shanakyan Rasamanikam serves as the bloc's coordinator.
Leaders and representatives of the Ilangai Tamil Arasu Katchi or ITAC, the Tamil Progressive Alliance or TPA, the Sri Lanka Muslim Congress or SLMC, the All Ceylon Makkal Congress or ACMC, the Democratic Tamil National Alliance or DTNA, and the Ceylon Workers Congress or CWC convened a media briefing in Colombo on Monday. It was at this media briefing that they revealed details of their new alliance. Also present at the event were Tamil Progressive Alliance leader Manu Ganesan, Sri Lanka Muslim Congress leader Rauf Hakim, and All Ceylon Makkal Congress leader Rishad Bathyuddin, whose parties are key constituents of the Samagi Jana Sandhanaya led by opposition leader Sajith Premadasa. In addition, Ceylon Workers Congress General Secretary Jeevan Thondaman, who was elected to Parliament under the United National Party-led alliance at the most recent parliamentary election, also participated in the joint media briefing.
Representatives of Tamil-speaking political parties who met recently agreed to establish a common platform to discuss shared concerns, exchange views, and seek consensus on issues affecting their communities. While recognizing that each party retains the freedom to maintain and advocate its own position on matters of policy and politics, participants agreed that the platform would serve as a mechanism to identify areas of common interest and pursue collective advocacy where possible.
Actually, we had to clarify very clearly that our effort to come together should not be interpreted as a communal effort, or rather an effort to deliberately oppose any community or any majority in this country. We have concerns to address that relates to the mandates we have received from our respective communities. So in order to achieve those matters for which we have received mandate, we are coming together as a collective entity to discuss among ourselves on matters regarding which we can have common interest to form ourselves as a common platform.
This platform of ours will engage with the government. We will remind the government of the promises it has made. We will also engage with the opposition. We will hold discussions with the opposition leader and other opposition leaders, including the Samagi Jana Balawegya. We will engage with the international community. We will engage with religious leaders. At the very least, we will continue to highlight and advocate for the issues on which we have come together.
You may ask questions about this matter. However, if questions are raised on issues unrelated to this initiative, those can be addressed separately. Primarily, if there are questions regarding our decision to come together and work collectively in this manner, we are prepared to answer them. If questions are asked about matters unrelated to this effort or about developments elsewhere, those can be discussed independently. But today's focus is solely on the collective initiative and our decision to act together.
What exactly is happening? Sri Lanka's 225-member parliament is currently divided, with 159 seats held by the ruling National People's Power or NPP government and 66 seats belonging to the opposition. Of those 66 opposition seats, 40 are held by members elected under the Samagi Jana Balawegya or SJB banner. The remaining 26 seats are distributed among 11 other political parties and groups. The newly announced alliance commands the support of 21 members of parliament. Notably, these 21 MPs had previously functioned within the broader opposition grouping under the leadership of opposition leader Sajith Premadasa. The new alliance has emerged outside that common opposition framework. The parties and parliamentary representation within the new alliance are as follows. The Ilangai Tamil Arasu Katchi or ITAC, 8 seats. Sri Lanka Muslim Congress or SLMC, 5 seats. The All Ceylon Makkal Congress or ACMC led by Rishad Bathiuddin, 3 seats. The Democratic Tamil National Alliance or DTNA, 1 seat, which is held by Selvam Adekkilanathan. The Ceylon Workers Congress or CWC, represented by its General Secretary Jeevan Thundaman, who entered Parliament through the United National Party ticket. This is how the 21-member grouping is constituted. The alliance also includes MPs who entered Parliament under the Samagi Jana Balavegiya symbol. Among them are Mano Ganesan, Velusamy Radhakrishnan and Palani Digambaram. The Sri Lanka Muslim Congress also entered Parliament as an allied party of the Samagi Jana Balavegiya. In that context, a number of MPs within this grouping are politically linked to the SJB. Viewed from that perspective, the development could also be interpreted as the emergence of an alternative opposition grouping within Parliament. Newsfirst sought a response from SJB General Secretary Ranjit Madhuma Bandara regarding the development. However, the General Secretary declined to comment, stating that he would respond to that matter at a media briefing.
The Colombo Permanent High Court trial at bar rejected preliminary objections raised by former Central Bank Governor Ajit Niwad Cabral, who had argued that the Bribery Commission's case relating to the Greek bonds investment could not legally proceed. Accordingly, the trial, which had been delayed due to the objections, is scheduled to commence on the 20th of July.
The case against former Central Bank Governor Ajit Niwad Cabral is being heard before the special trial at bar, comprising presiding Judge Manoj Thalgudapitiya and Judges Udesh Ranatunga and Puthikasi Ragala. Announcing the unanimous decision of the 3-judge bench in open court, the presiding judge delivered the order allowing the case to proceed. The case has been filed over allegations that more than 1.84 billion rupees in losses were caused to the Sri Lankan government through investments in high-risk Greek sovereign bonds between the 11th of March 2011 and the 19th of November 2012, at a time when Greece was experiencing a severe economic crisis. The same incident had previously been the subject of legal proceedings against Ajit Niwad Cabral and 4 others. However, after the accused allegedly failed to comply with the condition requiring the losses sustained by the state to be settled within 3 months, the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption moved to file a fresh indictment before the trial at bar under the new Anti-Corruption Act. President's counsel Sampath Mendis, appearing on behalf of Cabral, raised preliminary objections before court on the 30th of June, arguing that the special trial at bar lacked jurisdiction to hear the case. The principal argument advanced by the defense related to the retrospective application of the law. Although the transactions in question took place between 2011 and 2012, counsel argued that the special trial at bar was established only through the Judicial Amendment Act No. 9 of 2018 and therefore lacked authority to hear offences alleged to have occurred prior to 2018. The defense further contended that, according to established legal principles, legislation can only operate retrospectively where there is a clear expression of legislative intent. In support of that position, counsel cited the 1978 Special Presidential Commissions of Inquiry Law and the Sirimavo Bandaranaike case as precedents. Counsel also submitted that fundamental legal rights available to an accused person in an ordinary high court, including certain appellate rights, were adversely affected when proceedings are conducted before a special trial at bar. He further argued that this was not merely a procedural change relating to the manner in which a case is heard, but rather a substantive change in law directly affecting the legal rights of the accused. In addition, counsel pointed out that the charges contained in 2 earlier cases filed before the High Court under Act No. 19 of 1994 were substantially similar to those in the present case, arguing that it was unlawful to institute fresh proceedings based on charges arising from matters that had already been litigated. Responding to those submissions, Assistant Director of Legal Affairs of the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption, Anusha Sampandaperuma, argued that Article 75 of the Constitution grants Parliament full authority to enact laws with retrospective effect. She further submitted that under the provisions of Act No. 9 of 2018, the decision by the Director General of the Bribery Commission to institute proceedings before a trial at bar was purely an administrative action. According to the prosecution, the amendment merely changed the forum in which the case is heard from an ordinary High Court to a special trial at bar and did not constitute a substantive change that would prejudice the rights of the accused. The prosecution also pointed out that adequate safeguards remain available to the accused, including the right to appeal a verdict of the trial at bar before a 5-judge bench of the Supreme Court. After considering the legal arguments presented by both parties, the special trial at bar rejected the defence's objections and delivered its ruling, allowing the case to proceed. The Batticaloa Magistrates Court on Monday ordered that Sivanesature Chandrakantan, widely known as Pillayan, who was arrested under the Prevention of Terrorism Act, be further remanded until the 24th of July. The case was taken up before Batticaloa Magistrate A. Darshini, with the suspect being produced before court via video conferencing. Court proceedings were conducted in relation to 3 charges connected to 5 killings that allegedly took place in 2008, along with an additional charge. Presenting facts before court, the Criminal Investigation Department stated that the case had been initiated based on information uncovered during investigations into a series of murders allegedly carried out using T-56 assault rifles in 2008. The CID informed court that Pillayan had been identified as being directly linked to several incidents, including the shooting deaths of 2 individuals, including a former police officer near the Kallari Murugan temple in Batticaloa on the 9th of January 2008. Investigators further alleged that he was connected to the shooting deaths of 2 individuals along the Kathankudi main road on the 22nd of May 2008. In addition, the CID told court that Pillayan had been identified as being directly linked to the fatal shooting of another individual at night in the Kotiapol area of Vaunathu on the 20th of August 2008. After considering all submissions made before court, the magistrate ordered that the suspect be further remanded until the 24th of July.
The Judicial Service Commission says a series of measures have been implemented to improve the efficiency of Sri Lanka's judicial system. The initiatives include the establishment of new courts and the introduction of digitalization measures across the judiciary.
To facilitate the hearing of bribery and corruption cases, 3 new high courts have already been established. These courts are operating from buildings that were previously used as official residences by various ministers. The number of courts operating under the Colombo Commercial High Court has been expanded from 3 to 5. A new High Court has also been added to the Colombo Civil Appellate High Court. The digitalization process at both the Supreme Court and the Court of Appeal has now been completed, while preliminary training programs and other preparations required for the implementation of the system are currently underway. The Judicial Service Commission stated that preliminary arrangements have also been made to extend digitalization to the rest of the court system. Steps have also been taken to recruit 33 new magistrates during this year. The Judicial Service Commission pointed out that although efforts were made to recruit 50 new magistrates, only 33 candidates met the required qualifications and could be appointed.
A sharp decline in vessel traffic through the strategically vital Strait of Hormuz has intensified concerns over global energy supplies and oil prices as military tensions between the United States and Iran continue to escalate.
International maritime monitoring agencies have reported that shipping activity through the Strait of Hormuz has fallen dramatically, with vessel movements slowing to near standstill levels amid the deteriorating security situation. Krishan Devasagayam tells us more.
Thank you, Naviksha and Jayamal. Yes, indeed. Now, no commercial vessels have crossed the Strait of Hormuz while broadcasting their location since yesterday evening. Now, 8 commercial vessels, including tankers, bulk carriers and cargo vessels, crossed the strait on Sunday, that is yesterday, down from 21 on Saturday and another 14 on Friday. Now, recent shipping data showed that traffic through the waterway, which is one of the world's most important energy corridors, has significantly decreased following renewed hostilities between Washington and Tehran. Now, in the most recent development in this matter, US President Donald Trump has announced that the USA will immediately begin charging a fee of 20% of the value of all cargo on ships using the Strait of Hormuz. Now, this will be as a reimbursement for providing and guaranteeing security to the said ships. Trump also took to Truth Social a little while ago, saying, and I quote, "The Strait of Hormuz is open with or without Iran," unquote, adding that the US is reinstating the blockade of all Iranian ports.
The latest developments come after a series of attacks on commercial vessels transiting the Strait of Hormuz earlier this month. The United States has accused Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps of carrying out attacks on multiple commercial ships, prompting a series of American military strikes against Iranian targets. US Central Command said its operations were aimed at degrading Iran's ability to threaten commercial shipping and freedom of navigation through the waterway. The conflict has since broadened, with Iran reportedly launching missile and drone attacks against locations linked to US military facilities in several countries across the Gulf region, including Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman and Jordan. US Central Command has announced additional military operations targeting Iranian air defense systems, coastal surveillance infrastructure, missile capabilities and other military assets, stating that the objective is to reduce Iran's capacity to attack vessels operating in and around the Strait of Hormuz. American officials have also maintained that the strait remains open to lawful navigation despite Iran's claims regarding control of the waterway. Meanwhile, Britain, France and Germany have joined calls for the rapid restoration of normal shipping operations through the Strait of Hormuz, emphasizing the importance of protecting international maritime trade and maintaining stability in one of the world's most critical energy corridors. Similar concerns have also been echoed by the United Nations and international maritime organizations, which have warned that disruption to shipping could have serious global economic consequences. The renewed conflict has already had a visible impact on global oil markets. Brent crude prices climbed to around $78 per barrel, while US West Texas Intermediate crude traded above $73 per barrel amid fears of prolonged supply disruptions and heightened geopolitical risk. Energy analysts warn that continued instability in the Gulf could keep oil prices volatile in the weeks ahead, placing additional pressure on economies that depend heavily on imported fuel. The Strait of Hormuz normally serves as a key transit route for a significant share of the world's oil and gas exports, making any disruption to traffic a major concern for global markets. For Sri Lanka, the developments are being watched closely due to the country's dependence on imported refined petroleum products. Rising global crude prices, increased insurance costs, and higher freight charges on shipping routes from key suppliers such as Singapore, Malaysia, South Korea, and India could add pressure to energy costs and the wider economy. Sri Lanka's oil purchasing prices are largely determined by the Singapore Platts Index, a key benchmark used in the country's fuel procurement process, which has experienced significant fluctuations over the past 6 months. Although the index recorded its lowest levels of the year during June and July, it still represents a 5% increase compared to the same period last year. Global oil prices remain elevated due to a combination of factors, including rising crude prices, disruptions and increases in freight and insurance costs associated with the transportation of petroleum products. A substantial portion of these cost increases is currently being absorbed through the Sri Lankan government's fuel subsidy program, which amounts to approximately 57 billion rupees. Based on prevailing pricing calculations, the retail price of fuel could be in the region of 750 rupees per litre. However, Octane 92 petrol is currently being sold in Sri Lanka at 414 rupees per litre, while Lanka Auto Diesel is being sold at 382 rupees per litre. The government's existing fuel subsidy program is scheduled to conclude in September.
Watch the FIFA World Cup live, where the best football teams in the world compete. Live matches, Rewind TV, highlights, reels. Watch it all for free. Download the Pure mobile app now.
Join us on 16th July at AHRP. Marks 25 years of shaping the future of work and organizations in Sri Lanka. As we celebrate this milestone at Cinnamon Life City of Dreams, we honor a legacy of leadership while looking ahead to the next chapter of the HR profession in Sri Lanka.
Watch the FIFA World Cup live, where the best football teams in the world compete. Live matches, Rewind TV, highlights, reels. Watch it all for free. Download the Pure mobile app now.
Welcome back to the news. Taking a look back at news from here at home. The procurement of paddy for the Yala season commenced today. Chairman of the Paddy Marketing Board, Manjula Pinnalanta, stated that paddy purchasing is being initiated by opening stores in areas where the highest harvests are currently being reaped.
Paddy is being purchased at the rate of 120 rupees per kilogram of nadu, 130 rupees per kilogram of samba and 140 rupees per kilogram of kiri samba. The Paddy Marketing Board stated that since the harvesting of paddy has already begun extensively in the northern and eastern provinces, paddy purchasing is being carried out through 143 warehouses in those areas. In the Ampara district, paddy purchasing commenced at the Bridge Camp warehouse, which belongs to the Paddy Marketing Board, under the patronage of the District Secretary and the Vice Chairman of the Paddy Marketing Board. The government is scheduled to purchase 10,000 metric tons of paddy in the Ampara district.
We are purchasing paddy at the government stipulated price. The farmers are also bringing in very high quality paddy that meets the standards. There is also enough capacity in the paddy warehouses. Currently, we can store 14,000 metric tons.
There will be no issue regarding paddy storage facilities. We are continuing to purchase paddy as farmers bring it in and are continuing this storage process. I believe we have made all necessary arrangements here to carry out this program by resolving the issues that existed in previous seasons.
The Veeravilla Government Paddy Warehouse in the Hambantota district was also opened today. The regional manager stated that the warehouse has been prepared to purchase 7,500 metric tons.
As farmers, we have received the maximum amount of subsidies that we should receive from the government. I think as a government, they only purchase about 10% of the country's paddy production. Beyond that, we actually have to give the paddy to the private sector. I think we are confident that the government will purchase that amount of paddy.
Preparations of warehouses in the Anuradhapura district for purchasing paddy in the Yala season are currently underway. The main government-owned paddy warehouse located in Thalava was prepared today, and Sumedha Veerasinghe, the Assistant Regional Manager of the Paddy Marketing Board for Anuradhapura, stated that paddy would be purchased at the government's guaranteed price starting from the 15th. The Acting Manager of the Northern Province Paddy Marketing Board expressed his views today regarding the paddy purchasing process in the Kilinochchi and Mullaitivu districts.
We are taking steps to open warehouses in every district and purchase paddy. Every farmer can take their harvest to the nearest storage yards and hand it over. In the Kilinochchi district, warehouses such as Marutanagar, Ramanathapuram, Kandavali and Kunjapirantan have been prepared to purchase paddy. Likewise, in the Mullaitivu district, the Mulyawala Agricultural Service Centre warehouse, Muripu warehouse, Suttanapuram warehouse, Pokkutudavei, Kanagarayankulam and Tunukkai warehouses have also finished being prepared.
The weapons, clubs and improvised wooden poles allegedly used by inmates during the recent clash inside the Negombo prison were handed over to the Negombo Magistrates Court by police officers. Police said the Criminal Investigation Department has recorded statements from more than 150 individuals, including inmates, in connection with the incident.
Court proceedings involving inmates of the Negombo prison will be conducted online from today. Under the new arrangement, prison authorities will submit a list of suspects scheduled to appear before court, following which legal proceedings will be conducted after confirming that the inmates remain in prison custody. A total of 2,400 inmates had been held at the Negombo prison before the recent violence. Following the clash, inmates were transferred to other prisons across the country. The Department of Prisons stated that only around 600 inmates currently remain at the Negombo prison. Those inmates are also expected to be transferred to other prisons in the future. The department further stated that relatives are currently not being permitted to visit the remaining inmates. The recent clash between drug traffickers and organised crime figures inside the Negombo prison resulted in the deaths of 8 prison officers and 21 inmates, while nearly 100 others sustained injuries.
Deputy Minister T.B. Sarath commented on certain recent protests led by members of the opposition concerning farmers' issues.
If it is a farmer's struggle, let them fight for paddy prices, or let them fight for water, or for fertilizer, or reduce the prices of farming equipment. But today, the slogan is "Government, go home." Farmers should be asking for farmers' rights. We are prepared to provide them. Within this "Go Home" slogan lies the truth about who is shaping the ideologies behind these protests. These ideologies are being created by those thugs who want to rule this country again. The drug dealers who want to rule this country. They want a kingdom of the underworld back. They want such a government. They want such leaders. The political fronts that needs those leaders are the defeated political parties. Those are the parties that want to bring them back to power. There are also media organizations that shape ideologies to bring them into power. The people of this country must understand this.
National People's Power Member of Parliament Kanchana Valipitiya stated that while the law is being enforced properly, certain groups are attempting to commit contempt of court.
They formed a new opposition group called the People's Democratic Joint Opposition and recently held a rally in Kurunagala. Various views were expressed at that meeting. On one hand, I saw Chamara Sampath making remarks that appear to be disrespectful to the judiciary. He alleged that judges act after accepting bribes and commissions. He also claimed that judicial decisions are influenced by privileges and benefits received by judges. If viewed from that perspective, it amounts to an insult directed at our judicial system. Throughout history, rulers believed they were above the law. That is why Chamara Sampath could make a teacher kneel before him. He acted as the person enforcing the law and the one imposing punishment. Similarly, in the past, we witnessed how former Chief Justice Shirani Bandaranaike was removed during the Mahinda Rajapaksa administration. There were no proper hearings or due process. Decisions were made according to their own wishes. That is what happened in the past. But things are different now. The law is being enforced properly. People like Chamara Sampath and Dayasri Jayasekara are frightened. Partly Champika Ranawaka and others are also worried.
The final rites of veteran Sri Lankan singer Mariyasel Gunatilaka were held at the Borala Cemetery, bringing to a close a celebrated musical journey that touched generations of Sri Lankan music lovers.
Mariyasel Gunatilaka passed away last Friday morning while receiving treatment at the Kalupovila Teaching Hospital. She was 68 years old at the time of her death. President Anukumar Dissanayake paid his final respects to the late artist during a visit earlier in the day. Meanwhile, a large number of fellow artists, public representatives and admirers continued to arrive throughout the day to pay their last respects to the beloved singer. Her remains had been placed at a private funeral parlour in Borala for public homage until 5 p.m. Following the religious observances, the remains were taken in a funeral procession to the Borala Cemetery. Mariyasel Gunatilaka, whose timeless songs earned a special place in the hearts of Sri Lankans, was laid to rest this evening, marking the end of a remarkable chapter in the country's musical heritage.
The nation today lost another dedicated public servant who emerged from the hills of the Central Highlands, entered the national media landscape from the capital and devoted his life to serving the people. He was Sampath Jayalal, Newsfirst's long-time correspondent for Nuwara.
Born on the 5th of January 1966, Sampath Jayalal received his education at Gaumini Mahavidyalaya in Nuwara. For nearly 2 decades, he served with dedication as a regional correspondent for Newsfirst. Known for his close connection with the people of the region, Sampath earned the trust and respect of the communities he covered, while carrying out his journalistic responsibilities with professionalism and commitment. Beyond news reporting, he played a pivotal role in numerous public service initiatives organized by the Maharaja Media Network, contributing his time, effort and energy to projects aimed at improving the lives of ordinary people. Relatives stated that the final rites of Sampath Jailal will be held in Newsfirst on Wednesday.
Weather first.
Strong winds and rough seas alert have been issued for Sri Lankan coastal waters.
Tenukarna Ratna joins us with more.
Thank you very much, Jamal and Naveksha. Well, the Met Department has issued an advisory of strong winds and rough sea conditions in several maritime areas around Sri Lanka. And according to this advisory, wind speeds in the sea areas extending off the coast from Matharu to Pothuwil via Hambantota, as well as Chilau to Kankasanthurei via Mana, may increase to speeds between 50 to 60 kilometers per hour. The Met Department has also urged the fishing and naval communities to remain vigilant and exercise caution while engaging in activities at sea due to the prevailing weather conditions. Well, in the meantime, the Met Department also says that several spells of rain can be expected in the Sabaragamu province and also in the Kandy, Nuwara Eliya, Galle and Mathura districts.
The National Dengue Prevention Programme, titled Stop Dengue Now, continued for its 6th consecutive day across the Western Province today. The initiative is being jointly organised by the Maharaja Media Network, led by Newsfirst, together with the Ministry of Health and Mass Media, with activities focused on the districts of Colombo, Kalutara and Gampaha. The team operating in the Colombo district conducted extensive public awareness activities today. Similar awareness campaigns were also carried out by teams touring the Gampaha and Kalutara districts.
Weather first. Watch the FIFA World Cup live, where the best football teams in the world compete. Live matches, Rewind TV, highlights, reels. Watch it all for free. Download the Pure mobile app now. Watch the FIFA World Cup live, where the best football teams in the world compete. Live matches, Rewind TV, highlights, reels. Watch it all for free. Download the Pure mobile app now.
Fox Jaffna by Fox Resorts has earned a spot among Sri Lanka's 30 best dining destinations as per a new feature by Condé Nast Traveller magazine.
Fox Jaffna by Fox Resorts has been recognized among 30 of the best dining destinations in Sri Lanka. The Condé Nast Traveller magazine highlighted the island's thriving culinary landscape and growing one of Asia's most exciting food destinations. The recognition places Fox Jaffna among a select group of dining establishments celebrated for showcasing the diversity, authenticity and innovation that define Sri Lankan cuisine today. Condé Nast Traveller magazine noted that Sri Lanka's dining scene is deeply rooted in centuries-old culinary traditions, family recipes and innovative cooking techniques, all supported by the abundance of locally grown and sourced ingredients found across the island. From the northern reaches of Jaffna to the wildlife-rich surroundings of Yala National Park, travellers are able to experience a remarkable variety of flavours that reflects the country's cultural and geographical diversity. According to the Condé Nast Traveller magazine, some of the country's most memorable culinary experiences extend beyond traditional dining venues, with roadside food stalls and local eateries continuing to play an important role in Sri Lanka's food culture. Visitors are encouraged to experience the island's fresh produce, including mangosteens, rambutans, and the many varieties of mangoes grown throughout the country. The Condé Nast Traveller magazine also highlighted Sri Lanka's distinctive vegetables, including long beans, snake gourd, and jackfruit, which are widely used in curries and traditional snacks. Equally important are the island's world-famous spices such as cinnamon, nutmeg and cardamom, which continue to form the foundation of many fragrant Sri Lankan dishes enjoyed daily by families and communities. The recognition comes at a time when Sri Lanka's restaurant industry is experiencing significant growth.
In international news, Krishan Devasagayavan brings us more news from around the world. Krishan?
Thank you, Jaimal. Well, coming in from Thailand, a huge fire tore through a bar in Thailand's capital Bangkok late on Sunday, leaving dozens dead and many more injured. Now, a total of 73 other people were injured, while the death toll has now risen to 32. Preliminary investigations by Bangkok's Disaster Mitigation Department suggest the fire could have been caused by an electrical short circuit in an air conditioner, though no official cause has been given as yet.
Bangkok awoke in shock this morning after an overnight inferno engulfed a packed pub in the Chatuchak district, killing at least 32 people. Prime Minister Anutin Chanvirakul, who inspected the venue near Lat Prao Soi 1 early this morning, said most of the victims died from smoke inhalation and that musicians at the venue described smoke from a circuit breaker near the stage, followed by a power outage and an explosion. Live feeds and video clips showed screaming patrons fleeing as flames shot from the entrance. The live music venue has a stage, 2 bars and a kitchen with a capacity of more than 300 people, as well as 4 fire exits, according to a post on its Facebook page promoting a live show this month. Firefighters spent about 2 hours bringing the blaze under control. They inspected the bar and found a row of stools and bottles of beer still on tables covered with white dust. The smell of burnt plastic lingered over the area several hours after the fire, while most of the bar's windows had been blown out.
Well, sad news indeed coming in this morning for many of us who grew up in the 90s watching movies like Jurassic Park. New Zealand actor Sam Neill, known for the films Jurassic Park, The Piano and Peaky Blinders, among many others, has died at the age of 78, his family said. In a statement, his family said that Neill's death was sudden and unexpected, but that he was surrounded by family. Neill had previously been diagnosed with non-Hodgkin lymphoma, but announced earlier this year that he was cancer-free. Now, following his death, tributes poured in from fellow actors, musicians and world leaders, including the Prime Ministers of New Zealand and Australia.
Perhaps with time, you might come to like me. I trusted you.
The jury is everything.
Sam Neill, the versatile New Zealand actor whose career spanned Oscar winners and blockbusters such as The Piano and Jurassic Park, has died aged 78.
Say again. We have a T-Rex. Wow.
Put your head between your knees.
Dr. Grant. Bye.
The actor's death was announced today
Now, the world is currently gripped by the electrifying excitement of the 2026 FIFA World Cup, which has reached a thrilling climax. However, amidst the tournament's intensity, significant news has emerged regarding the future of the competition. Now, FIFA President Gianni Infantino has unveiled a bold vision for the future, proposing an expansion of the World Cup to include 64 participating teams. Infantino emphasizes that the tournament should be truly global in scope, ensuring a greater representation for nations worldwide. He confirmed that this proposal will undergo formal review following the conclusion of the 2026 tournament. Now let us turn our attention to this year's World Cup, turning our focus back to the current tournament. We are just days away from crowning our finalists. Following a historic competition featuring 48 nations, France, Spain, England and the defending champions Argentina have secured their place in the semi-finals. The first semi-finals match between France and Spain will be held in Dallas the day after tomorrow. The second semi-final match will be held in Atlanta on the 16th of this month. England and Argentina will face each other in that match. The licensed broadcasting rights in Sri Lanka for the 2026 FIFA World Cup are held by the Maharaja Media Network. All matches of the tournament can be watched live on Sirasa TV and TV1.
That's a wrap of Primetime News for tonight.
Thank you for watching. Good night.